Good morning, everyone. It's September 1st, 2025, and it's the favorite time of our week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody. My name's Paul.
Good morning. This is Bev.
Good morning, Bev.
Good morning, Paul.
Happy first day of September. We're just rolling right in.
How did that
I
happen?
know. You can already tell the 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 sun's going down. The shadows are getting longer, and the sun's
Yep,
starting to come onto our porch. And we
right.
big rattlesnake last night on the
Oh
porch.
no. Uh-oh, no, no.
Jenny went out the front door and she hears this
Oh,
tick 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 tick, tick, and she's like, "What the hell's that?" And so she pushes on the screen door to go out, and it tick 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 tick. And so she goes and sits down and looks over by the screen door, and here's this big rattlesnake.
oh
All
my. I would have passed out right
well,
then.
she almost did, and I hear this screaming, "Paul!"
Of course, come to the rescue, Paul.
Yeah, so we needed BioTouch then. Good old
Oh,
rural
how
fire department.
interesting.
They showed up within a few minutes, took that little thing, and well, it wasn't very little, moved it away. So,
Whoosh.
I
Bye-bye.
yeah, bye bye. You go. There's plenty of other areas around here,
Yeah,
please. So
not my place.
between the owls and the birds and the hawks and the snakes, we've got a regular
Well,
sanctuary out there.
yeah, sure happens.
There's a little bit of stress for you.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's what we're going to talk about. How does BioTouch help you? You know,
Yeah.
so we're going to talk about we're going to build on our. We have another Facebook page that just gets put. Uh, all of our shows get put onto, and that's called BioTouch: A Revolution of Love. We've had that for a long time.
Long time.
And
Yes.
we have a new administrator, Kai. Kai is helping run the show there, and she just posted, how's BioTouch helped you?
Yeah.
So we thought, well, let's talk a little about that. Let's talk a little about how it's helped you and why we continue to say BioTouch is putting love into action. And sort of wanted to start with Horace's song, which we'll play at the end here, but his refrain is choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand the healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.
That's lovely. Healing grace in our hands.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
so that's why we're trying to get this technique out to everyone.
Yep.
And for a lot of people, we always need those, well, how has it helped you? How could this possibly be of help to you? And Jenny and I were talking again yesterday, some friend has had this brain concussion or something, and, I met her at a party, and Jenny and I were just talking. Said, they know I do this. I've been doing this for 35 years. But we'll spend money to go to the PT and to go to this person, and So it's just funny how something so simple doesn't, like
It,
love. It just doesn't.
it,
It doesn't have a place in the brain because love
yeah.
really is not of the brain.
Right.
I think that
Right.
might be the thing. It's not of the mind itself.
Yes. Yes. That's true. And it's way beyond our comprehension right now. Don't even try to understand, but we just gotta keep working towards it. BioTouch is a way that we can express it, experience it a little bit more, and share it. Share love, share the caring for each other. So it's opening a door.
Yes, and that's yeah, and I think that's a good point too. It's a door. We're not saying this is the cure all. We're
Right.
not saying, you don't do standard medical care. And so let's go over a few things that we've experienced, whether with ourselves or with others. And Bev, go ahead and share the one with that friend you had when you were in California.
Oregon,
Oh,
actually.
it's Oregon.
Yeah, well, I'll keep it short.
Oh, no, don't keep it short. Tell
I
us
met
the
I met this
details of
lovely
it.
I met this lovely woman on the street. It's so weird how the universe works, right? She looks at me and she goes, I never come over and just talk to a stranger, but I need to know you. What do you do? And I said, well, among one of the things I do is I do a modality called BioTouch. And then I named some other things. Oh, I knew I needed to know you. Well, as time went on, she confided in me. This is about the time of the COVID, right? And she confided in me that she had a mass growing in her head that was starting to affect her hearing and her eyesight. She had tried everything, Reiki, massage, cranial, of course, allopathic practices. She had a doctor, she had an MRI. That mass was growing in her head. And so, of course, I said, well, if you'd like, I would love to do some BioTouch with you. And we did one or two, and then COVID hit, and she decided not to. Well, after about a year later, before I left to come back to Arizona, she had had an MRI. It was bigger, and I think it really kind of made her concerned. So she came to me and said, I'm ready to commit myself. And I said, well, it takes consistency. Healing, it has. So we decided on a day, the same time every week. And we did it from May until I left in August. So what, 4 months? 4 months of BioTouch every single week. And I tell you, about the second time that I did a session with her, when I got through, she was silent for a minute and she just looked at me and she said, I have never felt so loved in my life as I did just now when you were doing BioTouch on me. And I cried, of course. I'm like, I know, it's putting love into action. I was so honored that I was on that journey with her. Well, to make a long story short, the day before I came back here, I was meeting with her and another friend, and her doctor called her. She'd had an MRI in July. This was August. She had her latest MRI. He said, I'll be in touch. He called her while we were sitting at the table, and she's like, oh my gosh, my doctor's calling me. That wasn't supposed to happen. So she went, she said, excuse me, and she's back in about 5 minutes, and she sat down at the table, and she looked at me, and she goes, that mass has shrunk, and he cannot understand why. But Horace say, don't even try to understand it. He doesn't know what's going on. But she says, I know. I don't care what you and Paul say, because you always say, we don't know. But I know. The only thing that's different is BioTouch. And I will be forever grateful that you put me on this path. And so that, an amazing send-off for me. Wow. To leave her. Yeah. I just, for me to witness that, I'm like, what? No. Don't we do that?
Wow. Yeah. It's sort of, it's hard to believe, Well, it's not about belief, It's hard to just participate in that because we're so.
And see the results.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And I mean, just the story, like you're sitting here on your day before you're ready to leave and this doctor calls and you're.
I know. It was just, what?
That's crazy. Wow. That's a great one. That's a great one. So, we're asking you to post on there, how's BioTouch helped you or helped you help someone else? We always want to remind people of my personal story, how I even got involved. I'd had a back pain for, over a year. And those are the days where I wasn't going to go to doctors, chiropractors, healers, anybody that had a title, those old hippie days. And I was in this little town, 900 people, in a little town called Mancos, Colorado. And the whole town, this is back in the 80s, everybody's talking about, this guy doing healing work, which I thought was weird. And he was actually a mining engineer looking for gold and silver in the old mines. So they told me where he lived, said, go check him out, And I was like, I don't know. Well, finally, after, a year of this pain, I'm on the way to the dump one day, and here's this guy's house where he and his wife lived. He didn't have a phone. And as the story goes, the truck drove me up the hill, right? And I get out, and here comes this big, burly, chested guy, tight white T-shirts, groom and clean hairdo, rolled up sleeves, cigarettes in his pocket, in the sleeves. And I'm like down below in flip-flops, cut-off jeans, and a ponytail, right? I'm like, uh-oh, I must be in the wrong place here.
Took a wrong turn.
Took a wrong turn somewhere. Well, anyhow, it turns out I wasn't in the wrong place. He said, oh, no, my name's Norman. Come on up. Went up to his house, opened the sliding glass doors. I'm inundated with smoke. he and his wife were chain smokers and chain coffee drinkers. And I'm like, sat down at the table, and inside I'm like, well, this is impressive.
I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. Yeah. No whale music, no tingling cymbals, no incense burning.
Right.
And we sit there and yak for like 15, 20 minutes. He finally takes me into the room, just in his bedroom, lays me on lays me on his bed, on the bed there, and he goes and washes his hands and does the greeting, which we've taught you over and over and over. And if you haven't learned the greeting yet, go to justtouch.com, download the 10 pages for free, and you can learn the greeting, which is the key to the system.
Yes.
If that's all you know is the greeting. So he does the greeting on me, and he does some other points, lays me on my tummy, does some points on my back. All of a sudden I hear the door open, close. I'm very relaxed. A few minutes later, I'm assuming he's done. He never said anything. I'm like, what the heck? Put on my shirt, go back out. We start yakking away. And finally I said to him, I said, well, what'd you do? He said, well, I just touched. And I thought, well, okay, what should I expect? He said, whatever. I said, well, okay, should I come back? Well, if you want. This guy wouldn't give me any answer. Help me out here a little. I thought, well, here's the kicker. How much do I owe you? I said.
Right.
And he goes, oh, no. We don't charge. I mean, not only did they not charge, they discouraged people from leaving anything. People would leave money in the flowers and bring coffee and cigarettes and food. Well, the short of that story was it only 2 sessions. So I came back again. But after the second session, that pain was gone that I'd had for a year. That was gone, you know, and I spent the next 6+ months going through a whole realignment of my body and my shoulders and my back. And it was amazing. And so that was 35 years ago or something.
Right.
And so how has BioTouch helped me? I still use it.
You do. Not only do you use it, you got it out there for everyone.
Yeah, and that was my goal. You know, from that time I said to him, we need to get this out to the public. And
you know, as you're telling the story about meeting Norman, I was thinking, you know, there's many modalities out there, and many of them have started from, you know, great, you know, teachers, gurus coming up, and then, you know, they have devotees and followers and students. But BioTouch is unique in one thing for me. It came through whatever that means, came through this ordinary Western dude looking for silver and gold. For me, that was a clear message that BioTouch is here for every single regular person on the street. You you just don't need to be a student of the guru or an initiate or whatever they call. It's just a person who cares about another person. That's really all it takes to be able to be effective with BioTouch.
yeah.
So, you know, it's just like, guys, this is for all of us. All of us regular people living our lives out there.
And that's when we had our first certification class, and that ex-CIA agent said, you know, I've never seen a more powerful revolution, because this revolution here is based on love. And that's all it's been ever since. That was 1989, you know, that it's just the application of putting love into action. And that has no language barrier. So recently we had one of our old-time instructors in Egypt do an interview talking about BioTouch on this interview, and we've had dozens and dozens and dozens of people contacting us that we've passed on to Hala in Egypt, our instructor there. We now have, she's putting the free ebook into Arabic with links to videos, and people are excited about just getting something simple that really the language is irrelevant, because if you just follow the pictures.
All we know is what the world needs now is love.
Yeah.
That's what we all need. We
you want to sing that for us?
We need to give it. Yeah.
You want to sing that for us? You're an ex-singer?
Come
on. I'll bet you used to sing that one, yeah?
I have.
Someday, folks, we'll get Bev to sing for us, but not today.
That right there is putting love into action.
Yeah.
Right there, softly like a butterfly on the skin.
Yeah.
And it just sends that love message to the cellular level of our bodies. And BioTouch knows what to do with it. That body knows what to do with BioTouch.
Yeah, had this fella come in, he's got this whole EMF and Rife thing going on, and he can do quantum work and da-da-da-da, and all these things are good and stuff, but there's nothing more powerful than the power of touch from another human being. Yes. Nothing more powerful. All these other things work, they're all fine and good, doing energy work off the, whatever you want to talk. But folks, the simplicity of touching another human being with no other intent than a caring, loving touch.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing more powerful.
Nothing. Do you remember what Erica on Thursday night at our in her presentation at our workshop? She said that touch is necessary for the whole nervous system. It ignites the whole nervous system. I thought that was a very profound statement.
Right.
Touch is powerful.
And it's interesting. So you ignite the whole nervous system, which to her, she was relating that to movement.
Yes.
See, and that movement is not about exercise or having a body part move.
Movement is life.
Yeah. Movement is love.
Love. That's
so
right.
Become part of the movement of love, the revolution of love, and learn BioTouch. We have so many ways to do it. We do have a class coming up next week on the 16th. It's a virtual class, so easy to learn. It's a one-day class. You get the manual, the ebook manual. Bev and I are on there. You break out into groups. We answer all your questions, and you'll have exposure to the entire system. And after that, you'll be just as effective as we are.
Start working it in your own life.
Yeah. So you can have your own testimonials,
right.
And we encourage you to put how BioTouch has helped you. How has it helped you or helped someone that you've worked with? And if you'd like to be on the show, hey, we'd love to have you talk about how you've experienced BioTouch in your life. I think BioTouch's time has come, as we said all the time. Yep. And this idea is now time to be put into manifestation, into action. It's like Horace said, choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand.
Oh.
The healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.
It's time. That's a revolution on many levels going on right now in humanity. But love is the foundation of it all. And here we are, our responsibility to tell everyone that BioTouch is here. I always say this is the good news. We have good news. BioTouch is here for us all. And it's totally accessible. Totally, every single one of us are capable of using it to increase the quality of life for ourselves and all those around us. My goodness. And it doesn't matter if our brains can't wrap itself around this. That's why I always say BioTouch is cutting edge. It is revolutionary because of its simplicity and the fact that we can all have it and it won't cost us anything to practice it together. Okay, it's time for reprogramming. Our brains have just been beaten down to accept that I can't do that. I'm not, worthy or capable. Well, yes, you are. We all are.
You all are. Go to justtouch.com. Join us every Monday with more questions that you might have or more of your testimonials. We appreciate you letting us into your home. Thank you, Bev.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone.
See you next week.
Bye.
If pain has got you down and you live in town, take a trip down to Pima Street. The people down there are people who care. They will get you back on your feet. Put love into action. Put love into action. If you ever want to have any real satisfaction. Choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand. A healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.